everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Kelly. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day today. Today I want to sit down, I want to finish putting my makeup on and kind of give some thoughts on this guy. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Jackie Aina palette. I wasn't gonna buy this, but I did. So it happened. So if you want to hear some thoughts and see a quick eye look, go ahead and stay tuned. We're gonna play with some makeup. Okay, like I said in the intro, I wasn't gonna buy this. I actually mentioned in my new releases last month when it was released, like there was 3 palettes, and I was like, I'm not gonna get this one. It's too much color. It's not for me. And then I touched it, and then it had to come home with me. And I love this palette. I'm a neutral girl. I love neutrals. The color scares me. I love this palette. If you don't have this palette, I think everybody needs it. I said it. I'm not gonna go too far into like a review. I love it. I was gonna do an eye look. It's not a new palette, but it's newer, I guess. I kind of feel like people have already moved on from it, and I don't know why. I know I'm late to the party, but so is that's how I roll. I'm always late. But anyways, these are the colors right here. I do have swatches up on my Instagram. I'll leave my handle down below. I don't want to put it on my arm today because I'm having an allergic reaction again, so I don't want to put it on my skin. But anyways, I will have my Instagram handle kind of down here and also in the description box, in case you are wondering. But this is the palette, and you guys, yes, I am very neutral, and I love this palette. This shade right here sponsored. It's like a green, blue, gold, and then it just like transforms. Here, I'll swatch it on my hand here, just so you can see it. See how it has like this maroon shift. It's my favorite color in the entire palette. Trust issues. Everything in this palette is a favorite, and I love it. Looking at it, it's so very intimidating, but it's not intimidating. So if you are similar to me and you're super nervous around color and don't know what to do, this palette is so workable. I mean, before I get into the eye look, I will say she did such an amazing job kind of collecting all of these colors, because you have some great mattes right here that are pretty neutral, if you will. They're very warm, but they're beautiful on their own. They're beautiful mixed in. I actually love these two mixed together for like an outer kind of depth with this shade all over the lid. Like this actually corner, like quad right here, that might be my favorite. It might be my favorite right there. And for fall, I'm going to be wearing it all the time. I know I am. I'm going to pan this shade because it's absolutely beautiful. But all of these shades over here, they're also very beautiful. They're very wearable. I mean, I did these. Nope, I didn't do the red one. I did these 3 and then these 2 right here, like as the look, and that was beautiful. I left the house with it. I don't know how they did it, but they made this neutral girl absolutely fall in love with this palette. Wow. That's all I have to say. So I'm going to zoom you in, and we are going to do a look together. Okay, now that I have you zoomed in, I'm not even sure where I want to go with this, but pinker right here, pinker right here is like screaming, you know, use me. So I think I'm going to start with this shade. Or no, I think I'm going to start with the pink shade right here. Oops. Right here, this pink one. And I'm just going to take that on like a very big fluffy brush. And I'll talk through this, I guess, as I'm doing my makeup, but it's very pigmented. There's not a lot of fallout. So there's that. I would say it's pretty true to the other ABH palettes that I have. And like I said, I wasn't going to get this because I've seen, in every look that I've seen, it is absolutely beautiful, and swatches and everything like that. I'm like, it's pretty, but it's not me. It's not for me. I don't do color, but I love this palette. Like, it's so, so good. This color, I am going in, and I am building it, but I am like going in very, very light-handed because I just want a touch of like the bubblegum pink kind of look. I don't want too much of a pink look, but just kind of, I buffed it just right basically on my eyebrow bone here, maybe just a little bit below, but that is where I kind of placed that. Wait, I I really do love how she really put so much thought into this palette. And oh, if you don't have a lot of colors, you know, if these colors might be really unique to your collection, I definitely think it's worth picking up because it's beautiful. I can see this like having so much more fun in the spring with these kind of lighter colors and then fun summer colors, and it's going to transition really well into the fall. In such a small palette, I'm surprised. Usually something that goes from season to season, a lot of times they're the big palettes, and I don't like those big palettes. There is 14 shades, and I think this was $45. I bought it. I like it. I swatched it. I went in for a concealer. That's what I was there for. Went in for a concealer, and I came out with this palette because I like walked by, and of course, again, Kelly's got to touch it, and then I had to come home with me. All right, I'm going to use the brush that it came with, the fluffy side right here, and I'm going to go into a Pinker, which is this dusty kind of mauve color. I love this color. Love it. And I'm going to pat this like on half of my eye. This is so pretty. I don't have a lot of color, and the colored palettes I do have, they're very few. I use them, but I also like forget about them. And this one, this is going on my desk. Like I'm not putting this with all of the shadow palettes or palettes that I have. This is staying up here on my desk with all of my favorites. The shade, I mean, I'm going to say that about everything. Every shade in here I love. That is a good palette. When I love all of the shades. There isn't a shade in here I'm like, I don't know how much use I'm going to get out of it, because I'm going to get a lot of use out of all of the palette. I'm going to keep using the brush, and I'm going to use the smaller end now, and I'm going to go over here to Lituation, I believe is how you say it. I'm so bad at a pronunciation. I was not like spelling bee kind of. I was like the math science side of like school. I'm just gonna kind of pat this in and kind of fade it over that maroon shade that we kind of lay down. Well, I guess it's like a dusty shade. It's not really maroon, but that dusty pink, pinky purple. That's, oh. And what I really, really like about almost all of them, I would say all of them, all of these shimmers and this palette, depending on what you pair it with, is depending on where it's going to pull. Like this shade right here, I'm using more of like the pinky rosy tones, and it's going to pull kind of like that pinky mauve, but I've used it with like the oranges, and it kind of pulls like more of a gunmetal, like it's a deeper gray. It is so stinking cool. And I really like Trust Issues because it almost transforms any shade that you either mix it with or you top it with. It like changes in, I don't know what, magic. This palette is magic. On a pencil brush, I'm going to go back into Pinker, which is that dusty shade, and I'm just going to take this just a little bit further in just to kind of brighten that and just kind of blend it all together. I want a little bit more, a stronger pigment right there, and I'm just lightly touching, not trying to move it too much, but just more or less place it where I want it, and then I'll blend it out in a second. Alright, I'm going to take that same pencil brush that we used just a second ago, and I'm going to take Trust Issues right here, and I'm going to dab this just right on the start of my inner corner, but like on my lid. I'm not in the inner corner. I guess that was a bad choice, but I'm just going to build this up just to get a little bit of a transition, another ombre transition, I guess. And then I'm going to take on that same brush, and I'm going to start pressing this right on the inner corner just to brighten it up a little bit more. And I want this quite punchy, and then it'll fade into and then into, and it's just I really, really, really love the shade. It's white, it's gold, it's just so pretty. It's pretty on its own, but it's so pretty, you know, to transform another shade within the palette. It's very wearable. I don't wear color, so I like it. I'm going to wipe that off, and then I'm going to go into Shooking Tint, this purple right here, and I'm going to take this on the lower lash line. I know, it's super crazy, but I really like this palette. It has me wanting to actually play with color, so take this purple, and I'm going to do the whole lower lash line with this shade. Just kind of keeping it tight to the actual waterline, but as far as a purple shade, I've tried to do this before with another palette, with another purple like this, and it didn't work. It blended away. I don't want a crazy, like, drop down of shadow, but I do want a purple under my eye, and I want it to be able to show up. And this one, definitely, she shows up, you guys. She does exactly what I want it to. The pigment is there. I can build it. I can blend it. And I have such good control with this shadow. I cannot say enough great things about it. I'm going to take this kind of bigger angled brush, and I'm going to dip into, I'm going to stay with the Shooking Tint, that purple. And I'm just going to pretend like it's a liner, and I'm just going to stamp it, pointing up towards my eyebrow. And then whatever's left, I'm just going to kind of do this. And flick it just a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to go back with that. First, the fluffy brush from the palette, and I'm going to go back into pinker and just lightly kind of fill that in and blend lightly. I mean, I'm not going to circular motion, but I'm just going to kind of tap those two together because they want you to see the purple, but I don't want there to be like a gap. I know this is super really out of my comfort zone, but I like it. I like it a lot. I did something similar. I did a different like inner shade, but I did wear this to the grocery store the other day, so just kind of build this up so it kind of blends out that way. Something different, something, well, I mean, for me, it's very different. And going in with the light brush that we use for that bubblegum shade. Whatever's left on my brush at this point, I'm just going to blend. Just blend that right up there. Okay, and this is the finished look. It's a little out there. It's a little crazy for me, but I've really been enjoying this palette. I love this. I love the color in here. I think it's very wearable. I still feel like it's like teeters on like the neutral side of color. I know, purples and pinks, and who am I right now? But I love this. Do I think you need it? Like I said in the beginning or earlier in the video, if you don't have a lot of these colors, I definitely think for myself they're very unique. Just dipping my toes into color, so I think this is a fabulous palette. Some of these shades they're very unique. I don't think I've seen them like at all. Some of them, the pinks, the purples. I mean, there's lots of palettes that have pinks and purples. I don't have any that I like, to be honest. I love this palette. I can't stop using it. I'm excited to keep playing around with it. I will have all of the rest of the makeup down in the description box that I do have on my face. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Bye.